Let me know when you are actually.
Okay, I'm recording.
Okay, sweet. I'll begin now. I'm Cole Herrmann. This is my motivation speech, and I'll be taking your questions at the end. Socrates, the famous Greek philosopher, once said, "Education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel." So by this, Socrates meant that our learning is not something that we should look at as a bothersome inconvenience, but is instead the one thing that sparks all of our own free thought and creativity. Personally, it took me quite some time to learn this. I looked at school as an inconvenience, and only recently have I really started to appreciate my education. Through this realization of the importance of education, I noticed an extra perk that came along with it: self-improvement, which should also always be strived for. So the importance of lifelong learning and the goal of constant self-improvement is very, very consequential to our both physical and cognitive development as human beings. It can help with so many things. So I'll start specifically with lifelong learning. So what is lifelong learning? There is no specific definition or standardized definition, but I found one on Balamis.com that says it can be thought of as the ongoing, voluntary, and self-motivated pursuit of knowledge for other personal or professional reasons. And there are quite a few benefits of lifelong learning. I also found these on Balamis.com. So one is renewed self-motivation. So through this education, through educating yourself, you can see, hey, I know these things. I can be confident in what I'm doing, and I can have a better outlook on who I am as a person. It's also a recognition of personal interest and goals. So as you're educating yourself, as you're putting yourself out there, learning about new things, you may stumble on something that, hey, this really interests me. It's this thing that inspires me, and I can create it as my new hobby or personal interest or goal. And finally, improvement in skills. So even if maybe you're not stepping out of, let's say, a specialized field when you're learning, you can still do personalized learning in that said field, and you'll improve in the skills that you once had and maybe improve in skills that you were just learning now. So it can also be very important to your positive life. According to a study on study.com, it can transfer into things like your employability, your perspective of the world, and people around you. It can also have a positive effect on your brain cells, which obviously, as you get older, can be very beneficial to you. So there are different types of lifelong learning. Some of them are formal, which is this scheduled and monitored learning. So that's like a classroom at school or a college course where you go inside a hall or something, because there it's a certain time, you're learning a certain course, and you're told to do is more structured. There's also self-directed, which is the control over the path or pace. So you choose to do an online course because you want to study that, and you have more responsibility. It's your responsibility to decide when you're doing the assignments, how you're learning, stuff like that. There's also professional. So that's anything like learning on the job. So if you're a doctor, a technician, there are things that you learn throughout the years as you continue to grow and become more specialized in your specific field. And finally, they're personal. So that's tied to a passion or interest. For my example, I'll use myself. I've been mountain biking for my entire life, racing, but I could really only change a tire for so long. But lately, I've been getting into mechanics as we've been quarantined. I have nothing else to do. So I've been taking my bike apart, learning how it works, just becoming more specialized in mechanics and stuff like that. So as you can see, lifelong learning is very important and beneficial throughout our entire lives. Along with learning, one must also strive for self-improvement. So just like lifelong learning, there is no standard definition for self-improvement. I did find one, but again, it's not a structured definition. Again, this is from dictionary.com, and it can be summed up as improvement of one's mind, character, etc., through one's own personal effort. Now, when I say this, I don't mean that you should at all ever hate yourself or not be happy for what you are in your current state. You should always be happy and proud of the person you are. But wanting to be better is not healthy at all. In fact, it can be very beneficial to you. So just like lifelong learning, it has its fair share of benefits. So these are all from Oxbridge Academy. And this includes, it forces you out of your comfort zone. So when going for self-improvement, when setting goals, you are going to stumble on things or situations that you'd never encountered before. And getting out of your comfort zones is an important thing to do. You can learn, see what you really can achieve. It also develops your strengths. So you can get better at something, so you're able to push yourself even farther in the long run. It boosts your confidence. So when you're setting these goals and going with the self-improvement, you're really able to see, you know, wow, I can actually do this. I am capable of something I never thought I was capable of before. It can be very, very helpful. And finally, improve your self-awareness. So in everything, sometimes you fail. It can't always be positive, and you're not always going to be jumping in great strides, but that's not horrible either. When you're accomplishing something, you might fail and be like, hey, I could do this thing right here, but I failed when I got here. So my next goal will be right here, and my next one will be getting to that big goal that I've always wanted to accomplish. I look at it, if you're a marathon runner, you can't say, if you've only started running recently, hey, I want to run a sub 2 hour marathon. It's not going to happen. But you could say, hey, I want to just run a marathon in a year and slowly progress through running like that. It can't be this big jump. So according to verywellmind.com, self-improvement isn't actually detrimental or negative, but there should be a certain way you go at it. So they say to self-improve, you should go at a gradual pace, because if you start out with something, let's say marathon again or running again, you're not going to say do that 2 hour marathon. It's not going to happen. You set a goal that's your goal should be difficult, but should be attainable at the same time. If you set something that's far too difficult and you're never going to get, it's only going to crush your ego and make things hard in the long run. You should make a goal, so make a reasonable goal. Be accountable for yourself. So there's days when you're supposed to run at 6 in the morning and it's cold outside, maybe raining, you got to get up, you got to go and do your thing. It's important, and it's going to help you in the long run. And finally, you should plan for obstacles. I think it's fair to say that we've all encountered things we never thought we'd experience before in our entire lives. Quarantine's one of them. It's an obstacle that's a good one for the entire nation and entire world. And you should be able to plan around those. We should know, hey, let's stick to my routine and be prepared for what's going to come in the future. So self-improvement and lifelong learning are both beneficial to our mental and physical health, especially in a time like this. So through lifelong learning and self-improvement, we can improve our life for the better in a multitude of ways. Through lifelong learning, you strive for the education that is focused on said self-improvement. I found that on skillsyouneed.com. So some of these benefits obviously were including better cognitive health that help you as you get older, a personal realization of your true goals, and a sense of motivation that can help you achieve any goal that your heart desires. That's it. I'm ready for your questions.
So what do you think is the best way to go about self-improvement?
So first, I choose something that, well, actually, you can do anything if you're very good at it or not. But set a goal that right now is not achievable for you, something that you can't just go out and do easily in one day. You should pick something that you know is going to be challenging, but through hard work and dedication, you're able to do it, because through that hard work and dedication, it'll get you on a schedule. It'll get you on something that you can always count towards, always something you can rely on. I think having a schedule in your life is very important. I think right now is a perfect example of that. As he was saying earlier, it's very easy to get off that schedule and kind of go into this dark hole where you have like no motivation to do anything. So that's how I would go at it.
So with lifelong learning, do you think that like the experiences that we get throughout our life count as that learning?
Yeah, definitely. Like learning from your mistakes or seeing others fail and you learn from their mistakes or stuff like that, for sure. Yeah.
Good job.
Good job, Cole.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.